We usually don't share any of our NCRO members' personal information with anyone. However, as a public service to our members, I thought it was important that I share a recent story that I heard with you. It seems, as reported to me, the wife of one of our members visited her doctor and talked to her about her husband's sex drive, which apparently had gone dormant and been dormant for a while. So the doctor told her, he said, well, why don't you try Viagra? And she just said, no, not a chance. He won't even take an aspirin, let alone Viagra. And the doctor says, well, that's not a problem. So we'll do an Irish Viagra. And she goes, what's an Irish Viagra? He says, this is what you do. So I'll give you some pills and you dissolve it in his morning coffee. He won't even taste it. He won't even know it's there. So he handed her some pills and she left. And he said, please let me know how it turns out. So the next afternoon, she frantically calls the doctor and the doctor says, how did it go? She goes, oh my God, it was terrible. It was terrible. He goes, well, what happened? Did you do as I told you? She says, yes, I did just as you suggested. I dissolved the pill, the Viagra in his coffee, and he didn't taste it, but as you know, the reaction was just immediate. He jumped up from the table with a twinkle in his eye, a smile on his face, just took everything off the table, cups, saucers on the floor, tore my clothes to tatters, put me on the table and made mad, passionate love to me right there on the table. And the doctor says, well, what's wrong? Wasn't the sex good? She goes, oh, no. The sex was fantastic. Probably the best I've had in a long, long time. Said, but problem is I'll never be able to show my face in Starbucks again. You know, I'm not sure that's a true story. Because really, who could afford to go to Starbucks every day? So anyways, good morning, everyone. It's good to see everybody. It's been since May, you know, everybody, you haven't changed a bit. Everybody looks good. I think I saw a couple masks, but for the most part, no more masks, right? I think that's a good thing. So this, like I said, this is our first meeting since May 18th. We do 3 a year, and this will be our last meeting for this calendar year. Okay, next meeting, I think mid-February is when we have it scheduled. My name is Mike Cipineri. I'll go over a few things briefly before I introduce our president, Jay Cooney. So first, I just want to ask, how was your breakfast? Was it good? And the wait staff, please give the wait staff a hand. Yeah, very good. Thank you. San Marino's been our home base, I think, for about 10 years. We used to go to Venetian Club, and then we've been here for about 10 years, and they've been good to us. So appreciate that very much. This is our 49th in-person breakfast meeting since we started NCRO in 2008. So thank you very much for that continuous support. Couldn't really do it without you to continue these going. We have about, I think it was about 125 to 130 people signed up today. You guys chose to spend over $4 a gallon in gasoline to get here. We have another 30 or so on the webinar who chose not to spend the $4 a gallon or so. So it's good turnout, good turnout. All right, few things. Please continue to visit our website, ncro.org. Rick Golpe keeps information, and his team keep the information up there fresh. And I think I announced this before, but it's a little bit delayed. The website is going through a refresh, so I think I can confidently say January. You'll see a refreshed website. January 2023, right? Okay, all right, okay. So, sure that was January, yeah. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. Our outstanding insurance committee continues to help our members navigate through any of the benefits issues that you may run into. They're coming off a very successful seminar on September 14th. So if you have any questions on benefits, you can call the office and that message usually gets to the benefits. We try to respond within 24 hours, give or take, so we're usually there. Just mentioned that the invoices for the NCRO dues will be going out last week of October, first week of November, that time frame. So keep an eye out for that. The dues remains the same, $25 a year, not a month, a year. And I just want to thank you in advance for your patience. I know sometimes you send the checks in and it takes a little bit of time for it to clear the bank. We just kind of collect those and then try to do them as a batch in December. So thank you for your patience on that. And remember, as a member of NCRO, you automatically become a member of the NRLM. Also, just a reminder, if you send your check in by mail using postal mail, that's mailed to the post office box in Washington Township, Michigan, not Washington, D.C., Washington Township, Michigan. So if sometimes if you send the check in and it hasn't cleared for 6 months or so, that's kind of because it went to Washington, D.C. and eventually makes it back to us. So in the invoices also, we also ask you, it is strictly a voluntary contribution if you want to contribute to our CAF, which is our Contingency Action Fund. So please feel free to donate to that, contribute to that. Let's see. Okay, and our last thing, a couple last things. Want to thank our retiree-friendly dealers for advertising on our website. They're good for us. It's kind of income for us, and at the same time, I think helps them out. Hopefully that helps them out. So please consider visiting our friend. And we have representatives from Gawling today. So, Pete?
Oh,
yep.
Is it on?
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. Hi, everybody. Matthew Gowling from the Gowling Auto Group, stores in Bloomfield, Roseville, and Chelsea. You heard about the NCRO and first-time event here, and it's just great to see all the camaraderie and fellowship that this organization brings, and just a privilege to be here with you today. So thank you for having us.
Good morning. My name is Adam Holcomb. I'm General Manager for Gowling Chrysler Jeep of Roseville. My first time here, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And anything we can do to help, come on down.
Hello, my name is James Huffley. I'm the General Manager at our Alfa Romeo dealership in Birmingham. Appreciate you guys inviting us. It's an honor to be here. We obviously appreciate all the hard work you guys have done over the years to help us put in a place to be successful moving forward. So again, come on out, Alfa Romeo. Again, you can use your employee discount, friends and family discount for that specific product. Just want to throw that in there, a little plug. But again, I appreciate it, you guys.
Good morning, everybody. Great to see everybody again. I'm Mike Gowling. I'm the much older and wiser older brother. Again, thank you very much for having us here. We appreciate it, and just hope everybody has a great holiday season coming up.
And last but not least, Bill Gowling, and very proud to be here with all of you and our team here. My sons, they own the bulk of the company now, so they let Dad come out and do a few things every once in a while. So appreciate everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Semi-retirement, right, Bill? Something like that. Yeah, please do your part. It helps our dealerships and Chrysler really to stay healthy. And I might want to add, they continue to advertise on NCRO even during the pandemic. So thank you for that. Okay, once again, any questions or issues that you have, please call our office. Whether it's benefits issues or dues issues or payment issues or whatever. The number's on our website. You can either call or you can send an email in. The email address is on our website, but the phone number is, I'll just mention it, 248-633-2827. And we have an answering service. They will take sometimes it's a live person, sometimes it's a recording, but it eventually gets to us. So with that. Alrighty, so let me just real quickly go through the agenda for today. Um, First, well, right after a couple minutes, Jay will bring us up to date on NCRO news and information. And then we have our keynote speaker, Bob Lee. He'll, he'll provide us tales of his 40-year journey through Chrysler. Remember, this only goes to about noon, Bob. Yeah, so, yeah. And then we'll follow it up with a Q&A, and we should have you out of here between like noon, 12:15. And then right after that, as an extra perk, as an extra benefit, no extra charge, the $15 covers this. We have our annual Medicare enrollment counseling if you want to stick around for that, and you'll have an opportunity to talk with some of our suppliers and things like that with any questions. So with that, Jay.
Good morning. It's great to see everybody out here. Thank you for coming. It's nice to see some new younger folks out too. I don't mean that for all of us, but we are. Some of us are getting a little long in the tooth. I want to say that. I was talking to Joe Higger. We talked about the day of retirement. I've been gone 15 years. It's just like, I don't know where that went. Yeah, please don't send your dues to Washington. We send enough money there, you know? I mean, geez. Please don't do that. I mean, whatever. I'm going to do a couple commercials before I get into my presentation, and hopefully I won't be too long because we want to give Bob as much time as he can. Everybody get a letter on, or see the email on direct deposit. Please take it seriously. They mean it. They're not going to send checks. So if you aren't doing a direct deposit for your retirement funds and whatever, please follow the directions and do that, because we've talked to them and they're really serious about going to full mail. I remember when we went to have to do that with our paychecks many times, and I finally got a letter from a company that said, you're one of the last 2 people that we send checks to. We're not going to send you a check anymore. So if you don't give us a direct deposit, you work for free. So I would do that. So please do that. Second, Mike talked about the IC committee. We've talked about the IC committee for a lot of times here, and how important they are, the insurance committee, what they do for our members. And if you have issues, we appreciate that you would contact, via benefits or contact direct benefit connect or whatever. But if you can't get it taken care of, then you please contact us, because we do have ways to kind of help that out. And, the IC committee is a phenomenal part of our organization. And if anybody out there has a desire, would like to help us with the insurance committee and get involved, we would appreciate it. We could use some help there. So you can get a hold of us, send us an email, call the office, or get a hold of somebody here. Either probably Rich Brown would be a good one to do. Richard's right here. He's the leadership on that committee. As I'm talking about the IC committee, I'm going to say something about one of the members. John, would you stand up, please? You can stand up, John. John Kaiser. He can still stand up. John Kaiser is going to kind of walk away, not walk away, kind of back off a little on the IC committee. But I just wanted to acknowledge him, because his efforts have been amazing for the IC committee and backup, and done a lot of work way over and above what you would expect someone to do. And if you happen to go on our website and you have issues with beneficiaries, or people might have passed away, or spouses that are looking for ways to help it, he put together 2 major, I guess they're really educational pieces that take you through everything that has to be done if you had a spouse pass away and you don't know how to get a hold of Chrysler, whatever. So there's a couple of places on there that you can go to, and those are John's babies. So John, we appreciate it. John's staying on the board. He's still going to help a little bit with the IC, but I just wanted to acknowledge you, John. So thank you very much for your work. Maybe the last of my commercials. Okay, is that better? I'll try to speak into it. Unfortunately, it's that time of the year. We are in winter almost. Yeah, get up, John. Swing it in. Last thing, did everybody get a note? Anybody, I don't know if they sent it to everybody or just the people that are participating in the retiree lease car program. Did you see an email from the company? what I'll call the confusing email to me, because it just said, oh, the 2023 ordering system is up. Does that mean everybody can order now? No. So I sent them a note and said, hey, does that mean I can order my car that I've only had, replace the car that I've only had a couple of months? They said, oh no, your car has to be in service for 11 months. So if anybody was confused by that, I wish they would have been a little more explanatory in what they were doing, but they didn't. So we continue to work on those with the company to try to make it a little more, a little clearer in their communication. So heads up, welcome. NCRO actions. Let me take you through real quickly. Pension overpayment recovery issue, which I've talked about a lot, and I'll just cover that real quick. Annuity protection. We had a meeting with the new head of human resources at the company, which is real interesting. And then I'll talk to you about the 2023 healthcare plan. Quickly, I'll go. There's two bills. We talked about the pension overpayment. I won't go into it ad nauseum, but there's two bills in front of the House, one in the House, one in the Senate. The language we put together with the NRLN, and Mike talked about, you're a member of the NRLN, which is the National Retiree Legislative Network. It's a national group that we use to go to Washington with. I wish that I wish Washington would move more quickly. That's sort of an oxymoron. But hopefully, the plan is, and with all of the when they come back after the election, the plan is to have these bills passed and then put into law, so we'll have the protection that we so very much need for pension overpayments. And I won't go over that. If somebody doesn't know about pension overpayment recovery, come see me after the meeting. Same language. I said we got to push to get it approved. The next issue really is annuity protection, and I'm sure some of you that might be in this room were annuitized and you receive your pension checks from either Athene or from Prudential. And there's some real misunderstandings of how that is protected. Once it's annuitized, there's no longer PBGC protection, but there's protection from the state. And there's issues that there's really never been an insurance company that's been on the business that's purchased annuities. So it seems like there's protection, but our next big effort will start this year. Started in, we're pushing it starting coming next year when we go to Washington D.C. to require that if a company annuitizes a pension, it means takes it out of the company's hands and puts it in an insurance company's hands, that it's a requirement of having reinsurance, which means that they have to buy insurance on that. So if it happens to be that the insurance company that purchased it and pays you, then if they happen to go out of business, that there's another insurance company that picks it up and you're completely covered, so you lose nothing. And for us, that's a huge thing that we're going to work on this year. So that's our next step in protecting pensions. So stay tuned; you'll hear a little more about that. We actually have written language that we're going to propose to the Senate and to the House of Representatives, language that actually will go into ERISA. So we're going to work on that to try to get that as quickly as we can. So stay tuned on that one. We met with the new head of HR, Matt Smith, and I talked to you a couple of times before about sort of a waning in our relationship with Chrysler in terms of meeting with them, and we just didn't feel like we had as good a relationship as we had prior to losing, quite frankly, the vice president of human resources. So a new one. They had a couple of changes in who handled the HR, and the new person came in by the name of Matt Smith. Basically, his background has been supplier human resources, not so much in the OEMs. But we had a meeting with him a couple of weeks ago, and really a good meeting, because we were concerned about how do we build this relationship so we can really get into them. I will tell you one of the things, he took notes, which I thought was really interesting because previously we didn't have anybody doing that. So we talked a lot about who we were, the issues we had, and what we were trying to do as an organization. Because we told them basically, and we've told you guys that our mission statement, the number 2 part of our mission statement after protecting pensions and benefits is to help Stellantis now, I'll call it Chrysler, be profitable. Because we feel if we can keep the company profitable and help the company be profitable, we don't have to worry about pensions and benefits. So that's our number. We talked about that, and he was appreciative of it. But the interesting thing, the one thing that we talked to them about was, and we've done this with each one of the HR vice presidents, is how can we get our NCRO in front of new retirees? Because that's a very difficult thing, and they won't let us do that. We've been through this for years now. And he took notes and said, "Man, let me work on that. Let me see what I can do." I thought it was very positive because he didn't ignore it. He just said, "Oh, let me work on that, see what I can do." So hopefully, in the future, we might be able to at least alert the individuals who are retiring of who we are, what we try to do, and how we try to help them with their journey away from the company. Because I said this before, the company, the biggest thing that happens to retiring retirees is we lose connection to the company. And the company doesn't understand that, but we really do. I mean, it used to be you could walk into your own HR group, people, you could do things when you were there because you were in the building. But when you leave, now you have Benefit Connect, right? And that could be good or bad. So we would like to help them understand that we're still part of the company and a big part of their company. So overall, we think it was a very good, positive exchange. So stay tuned. Hopefully, we can talk more about that. And we also had a meeting with them about the 2023 healthcare program. And I'm going to go through this relatively quickly. This is exactly the presentation they took us through. Give you some updates, talk about the HSA contributions, dental, vision, and communications. And I'm going to kind of do basically for over 65, which is the vast majority of people here. Yeah, they didn't have a good proofreader. So the HRA. So in essence, for over 65, it really hasn't changed. We've worked on that. We continue to ask them. But the retiree will get $1,975 if you're completely qualified for everything, and spouse would be $1,750. Comes in January, so that's the change. But we continue to ask them and says, you know, the healthcare costs have gone up, and maybe you should raise that. We'll continue to work on that. Big chart. I'm not sure if you can really read that. Don't really have to read that for the under 65. Basically, everything remains the same except the price increases for healthcare has gone up 3.8%. In reality, while I wish it wouldn't go up, 3.8% based upon inflation and all things that we know out there really is a relatively low number from the things we've been facing in terms of costs. I shouldn't even say this to you, but I went out and bought some. My wife was doing a party and whatever, and she wanted me to get nice yellow and orange and red peppers. $2.50 a piece. Yeah, that's what I said. When I looked at the bill, I thought six peppers for $15. I think we're out of control with inflation. But so for the instance, you can see there that the dollars and cents basically have pretty much remained the same, just went up a little. There is a new thing called the Michigan Residents Blue Care Network of providers that they're using for the PPO. It's an organization that they're going to require everybody to use if you're in the PPO issue. But in reality, it's basically all the doctors, so you wouldn't have to change doctors if you're there. The new name for it is the Healthy Blue Cross POS. 97% of the providers are in that, so there shouldn't be any issues. Requires the person to designate a primary care physician, and it's consistent with the network plans as we have it, and you don't have to have a referral for specialists. Continue to do with the issues, the total max contribution that you can do to make up is retiree only is $3,850. You see it in there. It's $7,750 if you have family for them, and the coverage basically remains the same. For dental, it was a closed year. Last year was the enrollment, so this year's a close for enrollment, so it doesn't happen until next year. Vision, however, they've changed vision providers, and VSP will be the new provider. It's this year you have to sign up for it. It's a 1 year, and it'll go back into coordinated with dental, and the vision will be again a sign up again for next year. So we haven't done it. Their key communication messages are basically that things are remaining the same. Co-pays, plan deductibles are all the same. Healthy Blue Cross POS is plan the enrollees need to designate their PCP for the 2023, so that you can have your the proper physician. Again, a closed year for dental, but it's open for the vision with VSP. I happen to have VSP, and I really like it. So for those of you who haven't had VSP, it really is a good organization. It works very, very well. And if you look at the key dates, I think it's really interesting, the key dates. This is something I thought, it's a subtle thing, but I think it says a lot. It says August 30th, and that's a review of 2023 retiree choice benefits with NCRO. That's the first time it's been in the actual presentation. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they acknowledged that they presented it to us. October 14th passed last Friday. Should get a post mailed out. So if you haven't received it, you should receive it shortly. October 26th, the annual enrollment announcement. Yes, there'll be snail mail and emails. I don't remember seeing the email, but that's maybe I'm late. 26th, again, enrollment begins, and on November 9th, enrollment ends. So I think at least what I felt in the presentation that Chrysler's trying to do the best they could do to try to balance cost increases in the medical situation and what they're charging for costs. So I said 3.8%. I hate to see that, but it's not better than 8 or 9% inflation that we've been seeing. So that's the kind of the recap. So look for the stuff in the mail. I will tell you if you don't get it, if you don't get the stuff in the mail, I would contact Benefit Connect, and if they don't help you, then give a call to us, and we'll try to figure out what the issue is if you haven't received it. The only thing we'd like to do is, because you guys might know of people who are retiring or people who are retired and not a member of the NCRO. Like I said, there's $25 is a pretty low fee for a year for someone to be looking out and trying to protect everything, pensions and benefits. So, and I always say this, that there's only one organization that's out there that's fighting for our retirees, and that's the NCRO. So we enjoy doing it, and I think for the most part we're pretty good at getting positive reactions from the company, even though sometimes they don't want to do it. So if you haven't joined any of the media groups, we're on Facebook, we're on all sorts of places, and that gives you some more information. I'm really excited. Bill and the guys are working on the new website, which looks like it's coming along after a long, long time. But it looks like we're making some real good progress, and I've been assured that January will be up. Thanks. Again, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. So we appreciate your support, and we look forward to helping you out. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Bill.